Continuity of government is the principle of establishing defined procedures that allow a government to continue its essential operations in case of nuclear war or other catastrophic event. COG was developed by the British government before and during World War II to counter the threat of Luftwaffe bombing during the Battle of Britain. The need for continuity of government plans gained new urgency with nuclear proliferation. Countries during the Cold War and afterwards developed such plans to avoid confusion and disorder due to a power vacuum in the aftermath of a nuclear attack. In the US at least, COG is no longer limited to nuclear emergencies. The Continuity of Operations Plan was activated following the September 11 attacks. By country, Canada. Canada built numerous nuclear bunkers across the country, nicknamed Diefenbunkers, in a play on the last name of then Prime Minister John Diefenbaker. China. People's Republic of China. The People's Republic of China once operated underground Project 131, intended to be the PLA headquarters in Hubei during a nuclear conflict, built due to the Sino-Soviet split during the portion of the Cold War in 1981. The Project 131 site was turned over to the civilian authorities of the prefecture-level city of Shanning, where it is located. Czech Republic. The K116 facility under Zlichov Hill in western Prague was designated to house the Czechoslovak government in case of nuclear attack and might still be used as the emergency headquarters of the Czech government and military. Denmark. During the Cold War, Denmark built two bunker complexes named Regen Vest and Regen Ost in Jutland and Zealand respectively. The idea was to have half of the government and the royal family in one bunker, and the other half in the other, allowing continuity of government, even if one of the bunkers were destroyed or cut off. France. The Centre d'Opération des Forces Aériennes Stratégiques is a hardened command centre for French nuclear forces at Taverny Air Base in Taverny, the Val d'Oise. The alternate National Command Centre is located at Montverdun near Lyon. The hardened headquarters of Forces Aériennes Stratégiques, France's nuclear SSBN fleet, is at Huy, Yvelines, Germany. Germany operated a government bunker to house the German government, parliament and all federal personnel needed to keep the government working in the event of war or severe crisis. It was decommissioned in 1997. New Zealand. The New Zealand government believes the most likely disaster scenario to affect the government is a large earthquake in Wellington. The government has plans to move Parliament and essential staff to Devonport Naval Base in Auckland if such an event occurs. Norway. The Norwegian government operates a nuclear bunker called Central Anlegget in Buskerud County. The bunker is meant to accommodate the Norwegian royal family and the government in case of a nuclear military attack on the nation, and also function as a wartime headquarters. There is also a bunker beneath Høyblokke in downtown Oslo. Soviet Union and Russia. Very little in the public domain is known about Russia's COG plans. One sprawling underground facility residing in tunnels cut into Mount Yamantau is likely to be related to the survival of Russia's government, given its size and decades-long construction history, with the construction start during the rule of Leonid Brezhnev. KGB defector Colonel Oleg Gordievsky states that an organization known as Directorate 15 was tasked with building and maintaining a network of hundreds of underground command bunkers for the Soviet leadership. This includes the vast site beneath Yamantau Mountain, which is often called Mizhguri, after the closed city that is located nearby. However, there is speculation, due to its proximity to Chelyabyns-K70, that Yamantau is a 400-square-mile underground complex which houses nuclear warheads, missiles, launch controls, and several nuclear weapons factories designed to continue production after a hypothetical nuclear war begins. The second command and control center in the Urals, after Yamantau, is similarly speculated to be underground and located near, or under, Kosovinsky-Kamenny. The site is believed to host the Russian Strategic Rocket Forces Alternate Command Post, a post for the General Staff built to compensate for the vulnerability of older Soviet-era command posts in the Moscow region. In spite of this, the primary command posts for the Strategic Rocket Forces remains Kuznetsovo in Moscow and the secondary is the Kosovinsky Mountain in the Urals. The facility at Kosovinsky, finished in early 1996, was designed to resist U.S. earth-penetrating warheads and serves a similar role as the American Cheyenne Mountain Complex. Further command centers, according to Global Security.org, include one near Chekhov, which is the Russian General Staff wartime command post, buried deep underground, and Sharapovo, about 80 kilometers south of Moscow, built in the 1950s. Sharapovo is believed to have been the primary backup command center for the Soviet-era leadership. Both Chekhov and Sharapovo are each suggested to have the capability to accommodate about 30,000 individuals, as an alternative to Sharapovo. A secondary political leadership base is located at Chardeuka, some 650 kilometers southeast of Moscow near the city of Penza. There is also said to be as many as 12 underground levels beneath the Russian capital of Moscow to protect the government in the Kremlin. Known as the Main Directorate of Special Programs of the President, the direct successor of the 15th Directorate of the KGB, which was established in 1977, GUSP is said to oversee, amongst other sites, a parallel track line alongside the Moscow Metro, known as the Kremlin Line, Metro 2 or D6, to be used in an emergency. Two destinations of this system are suggested to be the old KGB headquarters, now the FSB headquarters, at Lubyanka Square, and the second being regarded as an enormous underground leadership bunker adjacent to Moscow State University. Another alleged subterranean destination, apart from the aforementioned underground town at Ramenki, Moscow State University, is VNUKOVO2 Airport. Despite official Russian state ambiguity, it is speculated that many of the Moscow bunkers are linked by an underground railway line. Sweden. During the Cold War, the Klara Skydstrom was built underneath Stockholm. The bunker is designed to accommodate two-thirds of the government and between 8,000 and 12,000 civilians in the case of a military attack on Stockholm. It is designed as a very large, two-story oval, with multiple entrances. During peacetime, parts of it are used as a parking garage. United Kingdom. The primary British COG headquarters is at the Ministry of Defence in Whitehall. The central government war headquarters was previously maintained in a quarry complex near Corsham, Wiltshire. The above-ground support facility was RAF Rudloe Manor. Service command centres are northward for the Royal Navy Trident SSBN Force, and RAF High Wycombe for the Royal Air Force. United States continuity of the national government was first threatened in late 1776, when British forces advanced toward the Continental capital at Philadelphia. On December 9, the Continental Congress passed a resolution in anticipation of a British capture, resolved, that in case this Congress shall be under the necessity of removing from Philadelphia, it shall be adjourned to Baltimore. The Congress was adjourned as planned 3 days later. Other relocations followed during the course of the Revolutionary War. For most of its existence, the United States operated without a standing continuity plan. When British forces burned Washington in 1814, Secretary of State James Monroe received only a few hours' notice to remove the government records. Although his staff saved many valuable records, much was nonetheless destroyed, and the next administration encountered a great deal of confusion. In 1952, President Truman ordered all federal offices to develop their own continuity plans for the event of a civil defense emergency. Plans have been maintained and adapted since then, at times requiring the construction of secret facilities such as the Emergency Congress Facility in Greenbrier County, West Virginia. The current continuity policy is defined in National Security Policy Directive 51 and its implementation plan. The continuity plan was activated for the first time following the September 11, 2001 attacks.